Okay, everybody, let's do a review, man. A little bit first about the band themselves, even though they need no introduction. But you never know who's new, who might not be aware of Radiohead. So a little on the band, and then a bit on the album, man. So starting with the band, Radiohead are an English rock band formed in Abingdon, Oxfordshire in '85. The band consists of Tom York, vocals, guitar, piano, and keyboards, brothers Johnny Greenwood, lead guitars, keyboards, other instruments, and Colin Greenwood, bass, Ed O'Brien, guitar, backing vocals, and Philip Selway, drums and percussion. Great drummer. They have worked with producer Nigel Goodrick and cover artist Stanley Donwood since '94. Radiohead's experimental approach is credited with advancing the sound of alternative rock. After signing to EME in '91, Radiohead released their debut single, Creep, in '92. It became a worldwide hit after the release of their debut album, Pablo Honey, in '93. Their popularity and critical standing rose in the UK with the release of their second album, The Bends, released in '95. I did the Bends check out the full album reaction about a month and a half ago. Radiohead's third album, OK Computer, released in '97, brought them international fame, noted for its complex production and themes of modern alienation. It's acclaimed as a landmark record and one of the best albums in popular music. Also did an album reaction for OK Computer, check that out 2 months ago. Kid A marked a dramatic change in style, incorporating influences from electronic music, jazz, classical music, and krautrock. Though Kid A divided listeners, it later attracted wide acclaim. It was followed by Amnesia in 2001, recorded in the same sessions. Also did a reaction for Kid A. Hail to the Chief in 2003, with lyrics inspired by the War on Terror, was Radiohead's final album for EMI. Their subsequent releases have pioneered alternative release platforms such as Pay What You Want and BitTorrent. Radiohead self-released their seventh album, In Rainbows, in 2007, as a download for which customers could set their own price to critical and chart success. Their eighth album, The King of Limbs, in 2011, an exploration of rhythm, was developed using extensive looping and sampling. A Moon-Shaped Pool in 2016 prominently featured Johnny Greenwood's orchestral arrangements. York, Johnny Greenwood, Selway, and O'Brien have released solo albums. In 2021, York and Greenwood debuted a new band, The Smile. I don't know how long they're gonna stay together then, especially if The Smile takes off. As of 2011, Radiohead have sold more than 30 million albums worldwide. Their awards include 6 Grammy Awards and 4 Ivor Novello Awards. They have achieved 7 top 10 hits on the UK singles chart, and it goes through those hits again. They have also achieved 2 top 40 hits on the US Billboard Hot 100. Rolling Stone named Radiohead one of the 100 greatest artists of all time, and Rolling Stone readers voted them the second best artist of the 2000s. 5 Radiohead albums have been included in Rolling Stone's 500 Greatest Albums of All Times list, and the band are the most nominated act in Mercury Prize history with 5 nominations. They were inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 2019. Wow. What an illustrious career. What a great mapping of success. All right, In Rainbows, from the Basement. In Rainbows from the Basement is a 2008 live video by English alternative rock band Radiohead. It features 10 performances of songs from the 2007 album In Rainbows, including songs from the special edition. It's an exclusive iTunes Store digital release, except in Japan, where it was given a DVD release packaged with a special edition of In Rainbows. production. In Rainbows from the Basement was filmed in a day with sound by Nigel Goodrick and video direction by David Bernard at the hospital's TV studio in London's Covent Garden for longtime Radiohead collaborators Goodrick's podcast and television program From the Basement. Man, what a long ass sentence, no breaks. The Radiohead performance was the beginning of the second series of the program. Radiohead performed songs from their 2007 album In Rainbows, plus the Hail to the Chief in 2003 tracks Myoxomatosis, Where I End and You Begin, and The Gloaming, and the Kid A 2000 track Optimistic. Okay. Sorry, that was choppy as hell. Release. VH1 broadcast. In Rainbows from the Basement premiered on Saturday the 3rd of May 2008 at 12 a.m. on VH1. iTunes. The performance that aired on VH1 was made available through iTunes on the 25th of June 2008 to coincide with the band's series of outdoor concerts in the UK. Wow, I would love to see one of those. The iTunes version features live renditions of songs from In Rainbows and its bonus CD, omitting tracks from the VH1 performance that weren't on In Rainbows. It's available as 10 separate videos, and it breaks down the prices. YouTube. On the 5th of June 2020, the performance premiered on the official YouTube channel of From the Basement. Okay. There's a YouTube channel dedicated just to this, man. Okay, and Graham Williamson of Letterboxd.com has a 2-paragraph review. He's obviously a fan. So Graham says, just because you're stuck indoors doesn't mean you can't do something worthwhile. Radiohead's producer Nigel Goodrick created In the Basement as a web series inspired by his childhood love of the old Grey Whistle Test. It featured everyone from the Stooges to Jose Gonzalez, but is best remembered for the two specials Radiohead did to promote two very different albums. 2007's Pay What You Decide Triumph in Rainbows and 2011's more abstruse The King of Limbs. In Rainbows is interesting for me, partly because it was the first Radiohead album that felt like it had an agonizingly long waiting time. A proud tradition they continue to this day. In the interim, they toured Europe and North America, premiering most of the songs, which would end up on the 2 discs of In Rainbows. I remember following the fan shot videos eagerly, thrilled by each new sound. The wall of programmed drums on 15 Step, the baggy rhythms of Down Is the New Up, the punk assault of Bangers and Mash. Yeah, I dig that one too. Most of these songs turned out differently when recorded, and it's interesting to see what stage they're in here. 15 Step is almost identical to the album version, but Bangers and Mash seems to be a kind of transitional fossil, as thrashy as the early live versions with the benefit of the more complex rhythms added in production. It's all a lot of fun. I seem to be the only person who thinks In Rainbows works best as a double album. Second disc songs like 4 Minute Warning, Down Is the New Up, and Last Flowers extend the album's sound into new areas while also being wonderful, emotional songs on their own right. There's a gratifying amount of those here, although Go Slowly is a weirdly undemonstrative closer. As a hardline defender of 2003's misunderstood Hail to the Thief, it was nice to see them keep the faith and play several songs from that as well. High point is probably Body Snatchers, one of those In Rainbow songs that just seemed to click as soon as it was played live, with Johnny's percussion, delayed soap guitar stabs testament to his love of dub reggae. The gear shift after the second chorus is one of the most utterly thrilling things they've ever recorded. Okay, that is a review from Greg Williamson of letterboxd.com. Obviously a fan. Right on, man. So, y'all, that concludes our look at Radiohead. This was an excellent way to introduce one to Radiohead. Someone in the comments said that they would have actually gone with, the studio exposure first before this, but no, it's not like, throwing me into the deep end in the middle of a complex suite or something like that, where I'd be totally lost and whatnot, or an Emerson, Lake and Palmer concert where I don't have a grasp of the lyrical content and what they're doing. No, this was very, very palpable and very easy to take in. So hey, fantastic. I think it's a really, really good way to get somebody exposed, because when you look at a band, their impression on you, in my opinion, is twofold. One, how they sound live, or one, how they sound in the studio, and two, how they sound live. Now, of course, this is in a studio setting and we're just visualizing them, but I don't feel that their sound, their signature sound, the charm of their sound and the tightness of their musicianship is going to change that much in concert with the crowd and everything else and all of the atmosphere. Let me know, maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think so. If I'm wrong, then I'll bite my tongue, but I don't think that I'm wrong. You get an impression after a while, you know that a certain signature sound from a band in the studio will be just as complimentary and just as good, if not better, performed live. You know what I'm talking about. There are some bands that have no place leaving the studio and performing live. We've all been to those nasty ass concerts. Whereas there are some bands, man, that just come into their own when they're performing live. I have a feeling Radiohead is one of them. Correct me if I'm wrong. All right. So, Greg, thank you very much. I appreciate it, man. Thanks for the recommendation. I know that there's another Radiohead something coming up, but I can't recall what. It's just too far down the road. So, man, CSN, your reaction is next, man. Jeffrey, Rob, Marco, got a couple of new patrons to get to, and a couple of folks submitting recommendations through PayPal. So I got to get to all of that. But yeah, I'll get it done, man. So that concludes our look at this excellent studio performance, live studio performance. I really liked how they look, how they sound, how they jam, how they're in the zone, how Tom squints his eyes. All of that really made for a very, very enjoyable sit and listen and watch. Now, a lot of the times, just like lyrics, I can't have lyrics in front of me, because if I'm focusing on lyrics, I am missing other things from the band, from the sound and the message and all that. It kind of dilutes and splits my focus. Even though this was a great performance and visually, a lot of the times I this is my tendency since I was a kid. When I'm really thinking, I kind of lower my eyes and lower my head to take it in. But if you're watching something visually, you're not getting as much. You know what I'm saying? Even if I'm watching a movie and, you hear something really stirring and really important, I kind of I go like this for a minute and just take it in. But it's not a good practice, because then you miss the next thing on the screen. So sometimes I look up and I say to Monica, damn, what did I miss? She goes, well, why? Where were your eyes at? You should have been paying attention to the damn screen. This is what you missed. She hates that shit. It's frustrating to her. All right. I'm just talking now. Anyway, y'all, thanks very much. Again, Greg, this was great. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Let me know if I was on point about Radiohead, especially where it comes to their studio sound versus their live sound. That would be quite interesting because those are the two areas in how, I don't know, I judge a band by, and then I give them their overall score. That's how I roll. Anyway, man, you guys have yourselves a good one. Take care, and I'll catch you in my next reaction. Peace out.